Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. How's everybody doing today? It's a pleasure to see all of your smiley faces. Thanks for joining us. Our guest is here. He's going to join us in just a second. We're talking about a legend in the television and film business. We're talking about Denise Nicholas, also a brilliant author and a very, very active civil rights activist, and somebody who really believes in inspiring others and empowering others. We've got a tremendous show in store for you. And thanks for all the comments, all the passion, all the excitement for the fact that we have Denise joining us live and direct from California. It's a pleasure that you guys are with us too. And if this is your first time joining us, I am your host, Jim Masters. I do this work professionally in television, radio, stage, film, as a TV and radio personality, journalist, writer, producer, actor, voiceover artist, narrator, motivational speaker, all those different things that get me out there connecting with people that I've done for years on television and radio. And we started this show some 480 episodes ago, which is really, really absolutely amazing. I can't believe it's been that many. And we started it in May 2020. We brought all of you in. We're live on the air with an international audience. And this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series bringing back the lost art of conversation, not just an interview. Talk about the book, talk about the movie, talk about the new CD. It's really going in deeper with our guests and with all of you. You guys are so expressive. And we thank you so very much for all the comments, the tweeting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me at Jim Masters TV and all those things. But you've been really spreading the word about the show and subscribing to our YouTube channel, which we would absolutely love. If you did that, that's the channel you're watching right now, which is Jim Masters TV, where you can see some 480 episodes of our series with extraordinary guests from literally Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, and everything in between. And everybody is welcome to our show. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter your political views. It doesn't matter what your zip code is, how much money you have in the bank, how tall you are, your eye color. None of it. You're all welcome. And we love when you're here. Now, our audience, our viewers, our faithful, they call themselves, you guys who are watching, are the Levity Squad, because in summertime last year, I said the show is a lot of light, love, and levity. And out of my mouth came the word levity. And out of that word, a lot of love has been in place ever since. Let's check in again in just a second. The incredible Denise Nicholas is joining us. You know her from Room 222, of course, that beloved series on ABC, In the Heat of the Night on NBC with Carol O'Connor, countless movies, countless stage productions, brilliant, brilliant books, novels. I mean, she's extraordinary. And a very impactful activist who's really somebody who believes in unity and believes in justice and doing the right thing. And she's in kindred spirit land here with all of us on the show, that's for sure. Let's say hi to everybody, folks there's so many comments that some of the comments have already blown by already. But Rini is here, Rini Katz in New York City. She says, hi, Lovities and Jim, good to see you, Rini. And Alessandra says, hi there, Lovities and Jim. Good to see you as well. If you only knew what Denise and I went through to make this happen tonight. Lovely technology. Here, I'm a professional in this industry. She's a professional. We've both been on large sets with all these big crews. And tonight, she and I were on cell phones, crisis hotline, as a team, getting each other through. She had to download Google Chrome. I said to her, did you ever think in your lifetime you'd ever have to do that? I mean, you've been on movie sets, film sets, television shows, and all over, and you got to Google Chrome in order to get on the air. I tell you, the world has changed. And Jane is here from Sweden. Good to see you, Jane, and welcome, Jane. We love when Jane is here. And Merlin is watching from Ontario, Canada. Good evening, Jim, and all the Lovities. Good to see you as well from Canada and everybody that's watching. Look at all this great hello here. Renee is here from Iowa. Good to see you, Renee, and welcome. Nice to have you here. Linda Odell is here as well. Thanks for joining us, Linda Odell. And Sherry Larson is here from Kansas. Thank you, Linda, from St. Augustine, Florida. And anybody else that said hello earlier, the comments have just flown by. There's so many here. Thank you very much, gang. Hey, Jim, Lovedies, and guest. Yes, Jen Barry, and she's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Crystal is watching in Connecticut, and she says, hi, Jim and Lovedies. Happy Monday. We're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting show with inspiring conversation. And, of course, our famous Lovety. You got it. Crystal, we've got that coming up for you right now. And everybody here, Joan Sando is checking in. Good to see you, Joan. Nice to see you as well. And Mona is here too. Good to see you, Mona. I know you guys got hit with Hurricane Ida down there in Louisiana, and it's been a tough time, but I hope everything is okay for you. And been a tough time, I know, for a lot of people. Merlin says, want to welcome Denise to Lovety Hall. She's into it. I told her she's been about Lovety for years anyway. So she's right at home here on the Jim Masters Show. Marcia Watson is here. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Marcia. And everybody else that's tuning in literally from all around the world. We love it. We love it. We love it. Nice to see all of you here. And again, Linda says, I hope all the Loveties are having a good evening this evening, sending hugs, Lovety hugs. We love that as well. And a couple more. And then we are going to welcome our very special guest. Joan says, Lovety, virtual hug to everyone. Nice. We love that. We love that. And everybody else that's watching, thanks for watching. Again, we'd love it if you subscribe to that YouTube channel. And if you love this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up and make sure that you leave a nice comment for you as well. I know we've done a gazillion shows. You are right. You are right. And Denise had said, Jim, do you like all the pressure doing all these shows? She says, this is a monumental task. She's right. And Joan says, hey, Jim, you're always looking good. Love all your looks. Handsome host. Thank you very much. Can we print that one out? Is there a way to print that comment out? Thank you very much, Joan. And Sherry Larson says, welcome to Denise as well. So why don't we do that together? She's amazing. She's a wonderful spirit. She's a beloved actress, but also a brilliant novelist and writer. She wrote several episodes of In the Heat of the Night, if you didn't know that as well. And she's been doing this for a long time, folks. And writing is a passion for her. Acting, of course, for so many years as well. But hey, remember that shot? Of course you do. That's from Room 222. Of course, known for that. But she really is somebody who's just magic when on stage, but also behind the scenes, too, as an actress. Denise has been applauded for her portrayals of complex, resilient women on film, television, and the stage, most notably for her groundbreaking role as high school guidance counselor Liz McIntyre on the ABC comedy drama Room 222, and for her co-starring role as councilwoman Harriet DeLong. Now, of course, you know Harriet DeLong was In the Heat of the Night, and with that show, she got a chance to be with the incredible Carol O'Connor, which was extraordinary for her as well. And again, she got a chance to write some of those episodes as well. And she talks often about the wonderful friendship with Carol and working with such a wonderful actor as Carol. And in addition, she was born in Detroit, Michigan, her beloved Michigan. And at the age of 16, she appeared on the August 25th, 1960 cover of Jet magazine. That's right. And she set out originally to be a teacher. That's right. She was going to be a school teacher. I love this shot. Isn't that a great shot? And we have plenty to show you this evening here on the show, just running through a few of them here in the introduction. But yeah, she set out initially to be a school teacher, and a wonderful prospect too, as a future school teacher prospect at the National High School Institute at Northwestern University. She graduated from high school in 1961, and she entered the University of Michigan as a pre-law student. Then she switched her major to Latin American politics, Spanish and English, and then moved on to New York City, She even worked for J. Walter Thompson Advertising and subsequently transferred to Tulane University, majoring in fine arts. She moved on from there to join the Free Southern Theater during the Civil Rights Movement, and after spending 2 years touring the Deep South, which I know was very extraordinary for her, and she learned a lot. It just became something that it was a passion for her. She then went to New York and joined the Negro Ensemble Company, working in all productions during the first season of that theater ensemble. And from the stage of the St. Mark's Playhouse in New York, she was cast, believe it or not, as Liz McIntyre, the guidance counselor on ABC's Room 222. She also received a Bachelor of Arts in Drama from the University of Southern California, the theater program, too. She's amazing. She's a delight. That's just one, of course, you talk about me with my many looks. Denise is always magic, no matter what the look is, because it's the spirit of who Denise Nicholas is inside. And it's my pleasure to welcome her here. There she is in double.
Are we back to computer business again?
I tell you, it's something, huh? Welcome, my friend. It's so nice to have you with us on the Jim Masters Show Live.
Thank
Honored.
you for that beautiful introduction. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. And that really just scratches the surface of who you are and what you do. You've made such long-lasting contributions, not just to entertainment, to television, to film, but to life, because you've taken a unique approach, a unique avenue. You've had a unique journey in all of it, in the projects that you've had come your way, and the ability to sort of pick and choose them as you go along the way, because you want them to speak to the essence of who you are. When you look back, the girl growing up in Detroit, and if you were to say something to her now, what would you say to Denise of then, the little girl who had these aspirations to do great things in the world, as you certainly have and still do, Denise?
What would I say to that little girl? First of all, I was so shy. I was the one hiding in the corner with a book while everybody else was running up and down the streets having fun. So I'd probably say, girl, get away from that corner, put that book down and go out there and have some fun. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Were you a serious young lady? Were you very nose to the grindstone, serious?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I was shy. So books, reading, that was comfortable for me because I didn't have to deal with people.
Right, exactly. It's amazing how many people that are in these industries are shy. And then what the work that they do allows them to find another side of themselves, or allows them to express themselves in ways that maybe they didn't think they were going to be able to do, right?
I agree. And I don't think I had very much of a personality until I got more involved in the arts, and especially in theater and performing, because I just, I was a bookworm. And even when I joined the Free Southern Theater in Mississippi during the Civil Rights Movement, I joined the theater as a script reader and to write critiques on things that were being submitted to us for production. I didn't go there to be an actor.
Right.
One of the actresses didn't show up for the production that we were about to do. So the producer and director said, well, Denise, you got the job. And I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And they said, you'll get it. And I said, well, this kind of reminds me of when my daddy taught me to drive. He just put me behind the wheel and said, drive. It was, get on the freeway and drive. He said, you see that wide line? Stay to the right of that line and keep going. And that's
Yeah. See, and do you feel that has been something that, if you were taking a look at your life, has been the situation where, it's just there and we got to make it happen. We got to do it. Because if getting on the show with the technology, with the Google Chrome, is any indication of the determination and the resilience that you have of thinking on the fly and let's make this happen, then you definitely are that person.
You had the technical, you had the key. You had the technical expertise, which I do not have. Not even a little bit do I have. None of it. None of it. I know how to turn this thing on and turn it off. That's it. That's it.
That is funny. So early on, I mentioned that you really wanted to go into education. You were the journey for you, the points, the direction was to go into education. Tell us a little bit about that. That might surprise some folks who know you from television and film.
I think in my generation, the early years of my life, there weren't so many opportunities for women as there are now, for sure. I think that education was always the fallback. It was like, well, you can teach. You can always teach. So I think that was like a little safety zone for me to say that. I don't know that I had a great ambition to do more. I think that developed over time as I developed more confidence. When I did things that worked or got involved in situations that were difficult and challenging and it worked out, I survived. I think then my ability to take on more difficult things and more interesting things certainly opened up.
And then you decided, what was it about acting that sort of spoke to you as well? Because I know initially acting wasn't necessarily the choice. And then you had to tell your folks, I'm going in this direction. Mm-hmm. What was that kitchen table discussion like?
It wasn't fun. Well, since my acting career really started with the Free Southern Theater during the Civil Rights Movement, that I had to tell my parents that I was at the University of Michigan to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and possibly get killed. So they were not pleased, and we had a bit of a tug of war about it. But I think I was at that point just beginning to sense that there was not only, of course, there was danger. I knew there was danger, but there was also adventure. And I think that was the beginning of my wanting to try new things and do new things and do things that I hadn't even thought about as a younger person.
So when you decided to move south and be a part of the theater group, what was it about that particular theater company in that area that really spoke to you?
It was that time in the 60s when the Civil Rights Movement, which was primarily focused at that point on voting rights, because so many people had been denied the right to vote since the end of slavery. Reconstruction, there was some voting, and then all that was shut down, that was stopped. So I think the voting issue spoke to me. I did understand it, and I did read history and political science sorts of things even in high school, and then at University of Michigan, I was taking a lot of I was bifurcated. I was doing political science over here and art history over here, and in the middle, I was doing whatever else. But I was really trying to see the world outside of my home in Michigan. I wanted a bigger world. I wanted to know what was in New York. I wanted to know what it was like in the South. I wanted to travel. I wanted to read. I wanted to have a better sense of adventure than I was born with, because as a little girl, as I said, I was pretty shy. So
I would imagine, as I mentioned in the introduction, that while you were there, because you toured the South for a couple of years as well, that was really a lot of teachable moments, a lot of learning on the fly. I would imagine the incredible things that you learned. What was that experience like for you? I'm sure there were wonderful things you saw, as well as things that weren't so hot.
Yeah, it was difficult. A lot of it was very stressful. There was a lot of violence. There were a lot of threats. There were places we toured. The Free Southern Theater toured first from Jackson, Mississippi, where we were first based. And we did the first summer of 1964. We did, I think, a 16 or 15 city tour around Mississippi, little tiny towns. We performed in churches. Sometimes we performed at the edges of cotton fields. I mean, it was crazy, and it was wonderful because primarily the people that we were performing for had not ever seen a play. Many had not ever seen a movie, and most did not have a television. So it was eye-opening for them, but it was also for us. Because we were most of the kids that went down there, the white kids and the black kids, were middle-class kids who were university students. So we had a better life and more exposures to many more things than the vast majority of people had there. But what I learned, and I like to frame it this way, the richness of what was coming out of those people and throwing off the fear that they had about trying to vote, because there was violence. If you tried to vote, your house got shot into, or worse, you could get killed. So throwing off that fear and stepping up with the courage to say, this is my life too. I want to participate. This is my country too. And I'm going to vote. So that gave us courage, because these people lived there and they were going to be there when we were gone, and they were going to have to face whatever the consequences were of their attempts to open up their own lives in a way. So it was an extraordinary experience. I wouldn't exchange it for anything, as difficult as it was.
How did it enhance and affect your work and your delivery and your presentation of your work going forward, that experience? I'm sure, something like that is life-changing and eye-opening in so many different ways. Even if you were to come from an insulated environment and then you're exposed to the real world out there, it's shocking. But if you've had some of that exposure already, and then you just see it amplified and sort of confirmed in so many different ways, I would imagine it leaves an indelible mark on you, and one that the essence of it is reflected in your work going forward.
I hear what you're saying, and I think there is in me a kind of a core, a base that was formed during those years, because it was so important to understand what was going on and to understand the history. So when you get all that together and pack it inside of yourself, it's not going anywhere, because it's too eye-opening. It's too. And remember, and I don't want to go into a dark place here, but when I got off the train in Jackson, Mississippi, it was within days of Michael Schwerner, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney being kidnapped and eventually killed. Right. So this was in the air when I got off the train in Mississippi, and it never left. It never left. So that sort of experience and others that I had over the course of those 2 years absolutely did change me. It enriched me. Right. It also taught me who we are as a country and how we need to make things better. But it's almost like you get there, I did the 2 years. When you leave there, you say to yourself, that's the real deal. Right. That's the real deal.
That's the real deal.
New York is fun, and New York is hard work and concrete and subways and blah, 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 blah. But that was survival. Right. That was people up against the wall constantly. People not having a means to even send their kids to high school or college, and not even having just some basic things that we all kind of take for granted. So there was a lot of poverty, which was also a lesson that, as rich as our country is, we still have pockets of extreme poverty and destitution and bad health care and blah, the whole routine, the whole list of things that people can point to. But I think understanding it when it's in your face, when you are a part of it, because you are now one of them, because when they shoot into this house, if you're in the wrong place, you're going to get shot too. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of that. I mean, there were places where we had to sleep on the floor because the Klan and various, they were trying to stop the voter registration, which is kind of what's going on again right now,
I was
unfortunately.
going to say, all these years later, do you see progress, or are we going back in that direction a little bit?
I think we're going backwards. I do. It's sad. It breaks my heart. Sometimes I just sit here and I just go, I don't believe this is happening again. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but I have to.
So does that give you an energy to want to sort of get back out there again with it, or have you passed the torch to others who are out there on those front lines now?
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Notice how I said pass the torch?
Yes, you were very nice. You were very kind, very gracious, and I appreciate it. But listen, I have a left bad knee and a couple of
but
other
now you've
issues.
got Google Chrome, so you got it made.
My home, my work and creative home is sitting in front of a computer in a nice chair with a glass of wine over here. That's as far as I'm going.
To me. That's
it.
That sounds really good. From there, then up to New York, what was that experience like for you? Now you're here. I mean, Detroit's big, but now you're in the big city and taking on things there. What first brought you to New York, and what was that experience like for you, Denise?
Well, when we were at the end of the second year that I was down there, actually it was in August, when I said, okay, it's time for me to get out of here. It's time for me to begin the next part of my life. I was contacted by a Swedish actress who's since passed away, Vivica Lindfors, and her husband, George Tabori. They were doing a play. He was a writer, and he was developing a piece for her that was excerpts from different periods of the theater. And they wanted 2 younger actors and 2 older actors to do all this. So there was Shakespeare, there was Ibsen, there were all little bits and pieces of many different plays and periods. So she had seen something that CBS filmed, came to Mississippi and filmed us. And she reached out to me and said, would I come and do this play with her? I was stunned. Needless to say, it was like, what? You want me to do a play with Vivica Lindfors?
I love when you go into that voice. It's almost like a little animated cartoon character. You should be doing voiceovers for animation. Yeah, I was going to say that's a whole other character.
Yes,
That's
so
Denise Jr.
to New York, and I did the play. We did a tour, and then back into New York, and then I started, doing the things that actors do in New York, taking my classes, voice and dance and acting, and then I auditioned for the Negro Ensemble Company and got in. So. That was intense.
Yeah. What was that like? Were you sort of pinching yourself when that happened?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified.
Were you?
Terrified. Because even though I had the 2 years with the Free Southern Theater in the South, I hadn't had that background of lots of acting classes and dance classes and voice classes. Well, when you go to New York and you want to be an actor, that's what you are, and that's what you do. And I hadn't done that. I was kind of, well, do a little this, a little that, a little this, and maybe it'll all work out. But then I had to get serious and, take dance classes, acting. I mean, it was my job. Every day I had different classes. And then in the Negro Ensemble Company, when it started, I was in the original company. They had an incredible training program there. Yeah. So then I felt, okay, now I'm an actor. Now I can do this. So.
How did the opportunity with Room 222 develop? Because that really obviously was also a groundbreaking television series for its time. It really had a message. It was, as much as it was entertaining and had the comedic aspects as well as dramatic, it was really groundbreaking for the time and a pivotal role for you early in the career, working also with some incredible people like Karen Valentine and Michael Constantine and everybody, the whole crew there. When that happened, first, how did that happen? And then when it did, what was that like for you?
Well, I think it was, it was ABC. ABC sent some people to a performance of the Negro Ensemble Company in New York. We were at the St. Mark's Playhouse and down on 8th and 2nd Avenue. And they came to the performance and they called my agent, or did I have an agent? I can't remember. Anyway, they got in touch. And they said, we would like you to read for this new series. And they told me, I didn't even have a television in New York. I didn't even know what they were talking. It was like Greek. And I said, okay, fine. And I went to read and they liked the reading. And they said, well, a couple of weeks or a week later, they said, we're going to fly you out to California for a screen test. And I said, okay, fine. And they flew me to California, put me up at a very nice hotel. And I went to 20th Century Fox and did the screen test. And I tested with the actor Billy D. Williams, who did not get the part, obviously. But
very, very hot at that time,
he
too.
Was. Yeah. He was. And I also found out that they did read and test a ton of women for that role. Now, I think a part of it was we have to remember that in terms of television at that period, there were very few Black faces on television then. It was starting to open up just a teeny bit, little bit by little bit all through the 70s.
Yeah.
Room 222 went on the air in 1969.
Right.
So
you and Diane Carroll and a few others.
Her show was, I think, one season before ours in terms of its interest, entrance into the ratings and all of that. So, and by the way, Michael Constantine just passed, so God rest his beautiful soul. He was a really lovely human being.
What was it like working with him? He seemed, even in that character, just so like a steady hand, a steady force. Yeah.
Yes, very calm, very wise. He was the man of all. Together, we did promote, and I did one up, and I tell this story all the time because every time I think about it, it cracks me up. We were up doing press stuff in Seattle, and went up in the Seattle, that needle thing that goes around the restaurant.
Yes.
And we were drinking and eating and doing press and running our mouths, and then we had to go to the bathroom. We went to and couldn't find the table because the thing was spinning around. So we were running around this thing in the wrong direction, trying to find her table. We had fun.
Is that Aretha? You're with Aretha
in those
there, right?
Days, I don't know how. Yeah, she did a guest show, and she's from Detroit too. And they asked me. She was very nervous about acting, and they asked me to go to her hotel and run lines with her, which I did. And of course, I admired her. I absolutely loved her voice. Her singing is just, I listen to her constantly. So it's just really beautiful.
What would be maybe a funny experience or something on this set of Room 222? Because, one of the key things that we do in all these industries is to make everything look smooth and easy and effortless. But as we know, anything can happen. Any particular memory, one or two from being on the set with the gang there at Room 222?
Yes.
So love the way you said that.
What's interesting is there's a similar story for In the Heat of the Night, a little bit different, but still me running my mouth. Okay. Who was it? It was, I'm trying to think of his name, Ivan Dixon, the first Black director to direct an episode of Room 222. So he was nervous. We were happy for him. And Lloyd Haynes and I decided to mess up his first day. So we had a fake argument to make work stop. I mean, we were going at it. It was all pretend. And this poor man was because he's on the clock. And if he doesn't finish in a certain amount of time, he's not going to hire him anymore.
Right.
So we were fussing and fighting and running around the set and carrying on. And he was like, oh, God, please stop. We have to work. We have to go to work.
We've got to keep going here.
Mm-hmm. So when we started laughing, he realized it was a joke and it was all good. So a similar thing happened on In the Heat of the Night. Not the same, but I went in to see Carol. who was a personal friend. He and his wife were friends out here. And I went in and I said, Carol, you have all these Black characters on this show and you have no Black writers. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. And he said, well, what do you want me to do about it? I said, well, I've been writing and I have a story that I think is right for you. It's about the first Black, because again, we're going right back to my civil rights movement experience. I said to him, I have a story about the first Black woman who tries to register to vote in Sparta, Mississippi. And he looked at me and he said, I'll buy it. And I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say. And then I said, you will? You will? He said, yes. And I said, oh, okay, so who's going to write it? He said, you are. I said, but I don't know how. He said, I'm going to teach you. And he mentored me through that first script. And then he hired me to do 5 more while I was still acting on the show.
Isn't that incredible?
It was wonderful.
He gave you a wonderful opportunity. You saw an opportunity and a void that needed to be filled, and he opened that door. I know the two of you had such great love and respect for one another and appreciation of each other's talents. What was it like on that set? Not just with Carol, of course, but with everybody, just the feeling of it all. It seemed like it was just a wonderful family.
We did get that. We had that family feeling very much on Room 222, which was a half-hour show film, like In the Heat of the Night, but again, a smaller cast, smaller everything. In the Heat of the Night, it's a bigger show, and it was filmed on a distant location. We filmed in Georgia. Well, they started their first season, I think they were in Louisiana. When I came on the show, they had already Georgia, Conyers and Covington outside of Atlanta. So it's a different feeling, completely different feeling there than at 20th Century Fox, where we were doing Room 222. But the other part of it that created a different kind of pressure is on location, distant location. You work 6 days a week. And because the show was a big show, we worked really long hours. So, and they would do what's called forced call, even though the union says you could only work X number of hours. When they needed you, they could force it. They have to pay you plenty, but they can make you very tired. And which is what exactly happened. We were working 12 and 13-hour days, 6 days a week. I wasn't in every episode, so I had breaks, and that's when I was doing my writing. So, but it was a good show. It wasn't as fuzzy warm as Room 222, because again, we're talking about a detective show. We're talking about crime. We're talking about, and we're in the Deep South, and there's a whole lot of other issues there.
Yeah.
And then we had some, there were some personal things on this set, a couple of people who were having some difficulties with substance abuse and things like that. So it was more intense.
In terms of being able to write for the show too, and that opportunity, what was that process like for you when you had the opportunity to, prepare scripts for the series? Well,
it was challenging because, my writing was long form fiction, whatever little writing I had done to that point, because it really is the beginning of my serious writing career. Carol gave me that start. So the process at that time, since I was just learning about television writing, I was flying back and forth from Atlanta to LA, and so I was dizzy Lizzy most of the time. But Carol worked with me. He didn't, I wasn't on staff. I wasn't a writer on staff. I was his chosen and happy to be there. And he tutored me pretty much through the process. But I was I was firm, in what I wanted to see on the screen, in the script that first script that I wrote. And he kind of accepted that. There were a couple of things where I thought he and the other producers were a little too laissez-faire with things from the script. So I would go crazy and run into his office and scream at her, which is why he started calling me his Italian fishwife. I was fussing. I said, you can't do this with my script. Like I'm a great scriptwriter doing my first script. Please don't do so. I would run. I'd get a car, one of the drivers, and they'd take me to the studio. I have to see Mr. O'Connor right now. And I would go and I'd run in his office. Carol, they're tearing my script apart. And he would go, will you calm down? Will you just calm down? I was like, I can't. So it was interesting. It was interesting, absolutely.
Filled with passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So, and again, that opportunity, when you first saw Carol, it's amazing. And I know people have talked about this. It shows the versatility and the exemplary acting. The fact that Carol O'Connor was absolutely nothing like and didn't believe in anything that Archie Bunker believed in. Because now here you are performing across from somebody who's known as that curmudgeon of Archie Bunker with Edith on All in the Family. And now you're working across from him, but a totally different person with totally different thought process, values, and everything, right?
Yeah, I knew him. Like I said, I knew him and I knew Nancy, the two of them here in LA. And Nancy and I were at a charity together that we raised money for childcare centers in South Central Los Angeles. So I got to know them on the personal side before I worked with him. And I went to New York a couple of times back in the day. I stayed at their apartment on Central Park West, and he and Nancy took me to the opera. I mean, they were generous, kind people to people that they liked. I was not special in that regard because they liked a lot of people, and they were kind and generous to all of them as far as I could see. I stayed out at their house in Malibu any number of times for parties or whatever, and they were embracing. They were kind. He was always supportive of younger people in the arts. Yeah. He always was that for people. So he was, it was an interesting time, because when he passed, it took my breath away, because I just thought he was the most remarkable human being. But I was, I had been writing this book. I'd been writing Freshwater Road by the time he passed, and I had done the first draft. I was running out of money because I hadn't been working. I've been sitting at my house at the computer trying to write with no paychecks coming in except residuals. And his wife, Nancy, called me to check on me one day, and she said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm okay." Excuse me. I said, "I'm, into the second draft." She said, "Well, Carol wanted you to finish this book." And I said, "I'm going to finish it." I said, "I'm a little tight on money." She sent me a check. I won't say how much, but it helped get me together over the next few months.
That's beautiful.
He said, "Carol would want you to," because he was also an actor, writer. Carol was a writer.
Yes.
And he wrote plays. I went up to San Francisco to see a play that he wrote. He wrote his memoir, and he supported people. He was a people person.
Yeah. Absolutely. When you look at this body of work, you mentioned Freshwater Road. That is a piece of work that is absolutely, I mean, if somebody, I've read it, and if somebody hasn't, I encourage them to. Writing a book isn't always easy, because especially when you're really, you talk about the amount of passion and time and everything that you're putting into it. What inspired you to want to tell that story?
I think because after I left the civil rights movement and the Free Southern Theater, I went to New York, came to California. It seemed like by the early 70s, the civil rights movement was kind of fading from people's memory. Big things happened. Robert Kennedy was assassinated. Dr. King was assassinated. That's all 68. And then it's like the air came out of the balloon after that. Things just kind of went whoo like that. And I think the experiences that I had in the South were so kind of just, I felt like I had been, this is a horrible, horrible metaphor. I felt like I had been branded. And with something about this country's history that would never leave me because it was so in my face while I was there, and it made such an impression on me. And I thought, I want to write something. I don't want this feeling to die. I don't want people to forget what happened in those years when there was all that activism, because it was very positive. It was positive. There was not a negative bone in it. And so that was where Freshwater Road came from. I carried it in my heart for years and years and years, and finally had the skill to start doing it, to start really writing it. I went to writing classes, even after my experience with Carol writing those scripts. What that taught me was probably script writing was not going to be my thing. It was going to be long form fiction, because I love fiction. I love books. I love historical fiction, and which is what Freshwater Road is. So it started there, and I carried it in my heart until 1998, 99, when I said I had 20 pages that I kept typing over and over and over again. And a friend of mine said, hey, there's a writing workshop being run by a writer whose name is Janet Fitch. Maybe you can get in. So I sent Janet Fitch my 20 pages and asked her if she had a seat in her workshop. And she said, yes, please come. So I was there 4.5 years, and this book comes out of that workshop.
Tell us a little bit about, and congratulations on it. It's, I think, something that everybody should really read and soak up. Tell us a little bit about it for folks who might not want to go out and pick it up.
Okay, well, you can order it from Amazon.
Amazon.
You don't have to go out.
There's no more going out. I don't think.
No more going out.
Not right now. I don't remember the last time we went out.
I'm sorry I went out. I said, oh God, I think I'll go home and stay home.
I'm going back in.
Yes, absolutely. Janet was her big book was White Oleander. That was one of Oprah's,
Yes.
I just say Oprah was sort of black. No, Janet is white. And the book is white. So, excuse me. So I got in her workshop, and trust me when I tell you, I did not know a thing. Nothing that Carol and I had worked on prepared me for writing long form fiction. Completely different animal, completely different. So I went through the tortures of hell for 4.5 years. She had, there were 7 of us in that workshop. And it was tough because those ladies, we were 2 guys too, they were writers from day one. And I was coming at it, as an actress who wanted to write. And they were like, okay, Miss Actress, see if you can do this. So it was competitive, but Janet ran such a tight ship. You learn, I can't even, it's hard for me to describe what this woman did in that workshop, because she broke it down, and she was tough. She was always fair. And when you finished your book, you got graduated out of there. So it was a wonderful workshop. And this book really, really comes out of that workshop. The whole thing.
How did you know when to put the last period on that last word, on that last sentence? Because sometimes, it's hard for a writer to either get started and get going and put those first words, pen to paper, or knowing when it's done, because, you rewrite it, you edit it, you go back to it again, you try to elongate it. How did you know when the story was complete?
The only thing I knew at the beginning of working with Janet was that I wanted this particular story to only be the summer called Freedom Summer. I was going to end it at the end of the summer. Janet said, you should keep going. You've got an American, this is like an American, she called it a classic or something. And I said, I couldn't do this for another 2 years if you pay me.
What are you talking about? American classic or otherwise, I'm good.
Right. I said, we're out. I'm out. The story ends at the end of August. Goodbye. And wait a minute. to prove how tired I was,
Yeah.
it's taken me all this time. Now I'm working on a new book, right? So I had a long layoff period. So
yeah,
I'm now working on another book.
congratulations. Is it a memoir, autobiography?
No, the same company that published Freshwater Road, the publisher, we've been friends over the years, and he reached out. He wanted me to do a memoir first, and I said, I want to do one other little thing before I do a memoir.
Right.
So it's a love story that I'm working on. And then he's offered me a 2-book deal, the one I'm working on, and a memoir when I finish that. And that'll be it.
Cool.
I'll be too old to even think.
Hey, come on.
There going, watching TV.
I was going to say, yeah. Watching Room 222 on the Decades channel or Antenna TV or something.
Yes.
Somebody did ask, I think it was Merlin in Canada, the name Freshwater Road. How did you come up with the name?
I did a lot of research for the book, even though I had been in Mississippi. Of course, I went back for a research trip when I was writing the book. And there was a little town in southern Mississippi, not far from Hattiesburg, that I kind of used as my model for the book. And it's near the Pearl River, but on the road, no one has running water. It's like pipes outside, outhouses, that sort of thing. And so I wanted to do the phone is going off. I wanted to create that tension of calling something what it exactly is not. Freshwater Road. There was no fresh water.
Water, right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's exciting about the other book. Have you started it yet? Did it start?
Yes. Actually, before Janet pitched me out, I started it while I was still with her. So I still have some of those delicious notes she gave me on the first couple of chapters, and then I was gone. And then I got tired and I put it aside. But that's what I'm working on now. I want to finish this story. It takes place, it's in the 1950s, and it's a love story. So I don't want to get too specific because it's a different kind of love story.
Right. And everybody will keep watch of when that is out, and certainly keep me posted on that. Congratulations on that as well. I know all of this work is a labor of love. People have asked if you had an opportunity to work with Morgan Freeman, Samuel L. Jackson, some of the other greats in the industry as well over the years.
I haven't worked with either of them, though I know both of them. In fact, not Sam, but Morgan. Morgan's ex-wife had a literary workshop at his estate in Mississippi, which is it was just over the Tennessee line, just south of Memphis in Mississippi. And I went there, and he was there, and his wife was a theater person, and I kind of knew her, but she was running a literary, like a salon in this little town in Mississippi. So I did a reading from Freshwater Road. There were other writers there. It was quite wonderful. But no, I have not worked acting with either of those gentlemen.
You know, before even Room 222, there's another classic, It Takes a Thief.
Oh,
yeah, how did that happen? People remember that one, of course. You've done it all, Denise.
I forgot all about that. When I came out, I think it was when I came out I did 2 tests for Room 222. When I did the second screen test, it was called a personality test. And I stayed in LA for a while. My agent got me a couple of jobs, and one was on It Takes a Thief while I was here before I went back to New York. Yep.
And what was that like? That opportunity?
I don't have a memory of it anywhere. Excuse me.
It Takes a Thief. And
I have not one memory of that show. Not one.
So when you see that graphic, it's exciting.
It Takes a Thief. And I also did Night Gallery, where I played some weird African person that didn't, it was the worst. It was the worst. Anyway.
You did so many incredible things, not just Night Gallery, but the list goes on and on as far as television shows, the FBI, NYPD, the Flip Wilson show.
I did.
Did you get a
Police
chance?
Story.
Did you get a chance to meet Geraldine on the Flip Wilson?
Yes, I did. I did it twice.
Yeah. And
I did.
Yes, actually, that episode of Night Gallery was Lagoda's Heads, and it was broadcast December 29th, 1971.
No pictures, no pictures.
No pictures. And then you were on Love American Style. Yep. You made the rounds there too.
Not I Love American. I do Love American.
Yeah. In 1970. Yeah.
Oh my
yes,
God.
And I think I saw the re-air of it because Decades did a whole Love American Style binge weekend, and you did pop up. This was 1972.
Okay, well, that was Room 222 time. So
yeah, Room 222 was 69.
I was trying to be a workhorse. I was working all the time.
You were. Police Story in 75, Rhoda with Valerie Harper in 75, Marcus Welby, MD in 75, and then another with some really great actors of the day too. Baby, I'm Back.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that.
No, you don't want to know.
There's a good crew you had there. Young Kim Fields with you too.
Yes, she was my child. Yes.
Yeah.
It was something.
That was
wait a minute. I think let's move on.
Yeah, Baby, I'm Back. She came in and out quickly with that one.
Baby, I'm gone.
She was back and she moved on. The Paper Chase, The Love Boat.
Yep. Great. I love
Benson,
that.
Different Strokes. I mean, Aloha Paradise in 81, One Day at a Time in 83, Masquerade, Magnum PI. Just so people know, how prolific you are in the television industry. Hotel 227, Amen. Of course, In the Heat of the Night from 89 to 95, The Cosby Show, A Different World, Law and Order, B.L. Stryker, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, The Parenthood, Living Single, My Wife and Kids, and on and on and on. But also, you were also in 72 in a film called Blackula. Tell us about that.
You keep getting the really good ones up here. So the best thing I can say about that. I was on Room 222 and I said, oh Lord. I said, I want to get some film, real film, not TV film. So I started looking for a role in a film, which, they're few and far between at that time. So that was it. That was my first film role.
So with that expression, then what are you saying? What am I doing? What
am I doing here? And whose hair is this?
I tell you, but then, of course, the opportunity to work with the incomparable, it was Let's Do It Again, Sidney Poitier. What was it like working with him and being a part of that film as well, Denise?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's a small role. Excuse me. It's a small role, but I had so much fun. I had so much fun with that part because it was all, kind of make-believe, makeup, kind of the wives of the two main male stars were involved in their shenanigans. And so I got to dress up like a hooker. So I had blonde hair and I had big boobs, like really big boobs with, like towels in there. And I had high heel boots that I could barely walk in. And in fact, walking out of one scene, I tripped, which worked for the part. So that was fun. That was fun. Yes.
Renee Katz says, what a successful, joyful person. And you are joyful for sure. It's it's come through in your work through and through, and it's something that I love the fact that you've tapped into all of these different aspects of who you are and of your life. A brilliant actress in all these different films and television and stage, theater, and so much more. The author, writing. I think I saw something once where they were talking about all these fabulous things that people know you're from, Room 222 and The Heat of the Night, all the things that usually are said first. And then when it was said writer, you're like, yes, you really love writing, don't
I
you?
do.
It's a true passion of yours.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that, excuse me, I have significant allergies and sinusitis.
It's a tough year for that. Me
Oh,
too.
and
Yeah.
out here, oh my God, with this
The
heat and the
ragweed and
fire and everything. Oh,
where you guys are? Yeah.
no, it's not here, but the smoke comes periodically.
Yeah.
It drifts all over the place.
It made it us. It's
So,
not. We're not getting
no,
it
I
now.
think,
It made it to us on the East Coast too in the summertime. The
yeah,
smoke.
I heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's still going up in Northern California. It's been rough. The last couple of years have been rough. So, but no,
Yeah.
writing is my passion. And I
Yeah.
think that when I look back, I think in the back of my mind, it was always my fantasy. But because I read all those novels in high school and exempted out of English in University of Michigan because I was good at it. But excuse me, I couldn't see or I didn't understand if it was possible to make that my life's work. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to go there from where I was. So it took a while for me to find that. But once I got through Carol O'Connor with his instruction
Yeah.
and Janet Fitch, I found myself. I found myself in it. And I was very comfortable, very comfortable.
Tony Smith is watching and asked, did Denise save any memories or items from In the Heat of the Night?
Mementos.
Yeah, anything from the show or
T-shirts. I have T-shirts. I have cups. I should have put my great picture of Carol O'Connor. I should have had it right here, there, and stuff.
a few things, mementos from the show. How about Room 222? Anything from there?
Oh no, nothing left. Nothing left. I think I have a bias reminder that says Room 220 was orange, and we all had them.
It's amazing too. Over the years, I know a lot of people. I agree, Marsha Watson. Denise, you're a hoot. She is. She's got a great sense of humor. She rolls with it, which I absolutely love because I think, levity, you've got to laugh, right? Through the darkest of times. I've been saying often on this show and in my other roles in television, radio, I've been saying, when we have moments like this that are real teachable moments, the pandemic, the economic, the civil unrest, the political craziness, all coming at us all at the same time. It's a wonderful time to pause and really let it soak in, because I think what I was deducing what went on here. And I think what happened was a combination of the divine, Mother Nature, and planet Earth said, stop, enough. Road rage, violence, all the stuff that's going on, all the hatred and division, stop. And here's what we're going to do, since we're the ones really in charge, divine, Earth, Mother Nature. We're going to throw in a health situation. Then we're going to have it affect your wallet with the economy, civil and political. And we're going to do it all at the same time to see how humanity, not the animals, not the ocean, not the sun, that's fine. They're good. But humans, how are you people? How are you going to come together, if you are, and make it through? And I've been saying, I hope that we rise from the ashes more loving, more empathetic, kinder. Life is short. Life is precious. And, the earth rotates a lot smoother on its axis when we are together, when we are all at the table creating and excited to be there, and not just talking, but really listening as well. this really is an epic time in our life. As horrific as it is, there are opportunities that are being presented to us by those energies of the earth,
Mhm.
Mother Nature, and the divine that are right before us that we could really seize and create some beautiful things as a result, right, Denise?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a clue where all this is going to end up, but I have been as terrified these last 2 years as I ever was in my life, including the time I spent in Mississippi, mainly because there I had an expectation of what it was going to be like. I was somewhat prepared, not totally, obviously. I saw and felt things that I hadn't ever felt or seen before. But now it's like we're better than this. We're beyond this. And we're just roiling in this insanity, it seems like to me. I, it's not just the pandemic that keeps me in the house. I'm terrified of people now because I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to go to Trader Joe's and have somebody have a fit because I have a mask on. I'm terrified of it. So I pretty much stay close to home, and, maybe when the pandemic finally, dies down, people will calm down. I hope,
Yeah.
I hope.
What are some things you've learned along the way through all of this about yourself too, Denise, during this time of great pause and great reflection?
I write. That's when I reflect. I'm so busy most of the time. I'm saying that and it's not true because I sit quietly for great amounts of time, just thinking through what's going on in the world. Excuse me, and what's going on in this country. I think about it a lot, but writing really is where I express the best.
It must be cathartic and therapeutic for you as well as you're
It is.
expressing and releasing and sharing, huh?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. There's no doubt. And I think because my style of writing is to, whatever the front story is, the main narrative, I always like to not comment, but in the character's mind, show the rest of the world that these people in this situation have thoughts. They have feelings about other things besides the situation that they're in at this precise moment. In fact,
Right.
usually good writing is not exactly always literally what you see. It's what you don't see. It's what you think and what you feel. So I do that in my writing. Even in Freshwater Road, there are allusions to things that have nothing to do with Freshwater Road. But the trick is, and Janet taught me this, your book can only be as smart as your main character. So there.
It's so true. Yes, absolutely. Beautifully said. If the opportunity came your way to perform on television or in film again, because I know you're pretty much retired from that and really focused on the things you really believe in and writing, family. But if that opportunity came, and I know everybody watching probably would be ecstatic if you were on another television series or in a film, is that something you would still entertain or are you good with it?
I think I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I worked so hard during those years.
you
I
have. Yeah.
was working. And excuse me. So this period is calmer. It is more reflective, which writing is. And I like the places that writing takes me, even when it breaks my heart. I would rather be that heartbreak than some other heartbreak.
Right.
It's I was sitting here, I think this pandemic and the political situation have pretty much worn everybody out. And I was sitting watching, I don't know if it was the 9/11 memorial tributes, but something, or maybe it was the Ida tearing up the South again and the Northeast. But I just sat there with the TV on and just cried. I just cried, just tears running down my face.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done that through this whole pandemic. I had been holding in. And then my mom is 100 years old, and I moved
I
her.
know.
I moved
God
her in
bless
here
her,
last
huh?
November, and she has dementia. So there's a lot
Yeah.
to deal with
Yeah.
that. And
And you're a
it touches me
caretaker.
too. So
That's a beautiful, I have to tell you, that's a beautiful thing that you're doing, caring for and making sure that your mom is getting what she needs and that she's okay. It's not an easy thing. I know people who've been in that role, especially with dementia, and there's a lot of emotional strain. There's the feeling of loss already, even though
yes.
she's here. There's comfort knowing that you're caring for her, but that is an absolutely, of these many things that you've done, which are spectacular and touch the lives. You've entertained people, you've inspired people, you've had people think, you've had people feel. That is a phenomenal role that you're taking. And it's a beautiful thing.
It's I did travel around the city looking at facilities when it became apparent to me that I had to move her out of, she was no longer able to handle the apartment she was in. And I said, I cannot put my mother in one of these. And the ones that are really, really, really nice, cost so much money.
Unbelievable.
If I do that, when it's my turn, I'm not going to have a penny. I'll be standing on the corner with a cup. So
they need to work on that. They need to make that so, long-term care has to become affordable, because it's unbelievable what it costs.
It's insane. So I do have help. I have helpers who come in every day. They don't stay at night, so I don't go to many screenings. Well, I don't want to go to screenings anyway. Somebody might breathe on me, and I might just hit them in the mouth. So I just don't come close to me.
There's no more whispering sweet nothings into the ear.
No, do not whisper. Do not even come near me. I mean, anyway.
But so
my mother is a very, very sweet, tiny. I'm a big girl. She's a sweet little lady, but she's strong as acid. And she has on a walker, which is a battering ram.
Yeah.
She could tear this house down with that thing.
She's like,
so we have our moments, but I love it. She's hard of hearing, so I got her a little single disc CD player with earbuds, and she can hear the music. I put on Nat King Cole music from her day. Sarah, that kind of Patty Page, that kind of stuff. She loves it. She used to sing those songs when we were little. And I just got it last week. I put earbuds in, I put on Nat King Cole, and she was sitting there and her face lit up.
Yeah.
She started tapping her little fingers and her little toes. And I said, oh my God, look at this. I called my brother in Detroit. I said, she can hear the music.
I tell you, Rini Katz in New York City says, beautiful person you are, Jim. Thanks for sharing her with us. Oh, absolutely. Rini also says that's her biggest, most important role, caring for her mom. That's beautifully said as well. When you look at this body of work, this legacy of work, these opportunities, you've really had a taste and touch of life and experienced it in ways that sometimes not everybody, sometimes people are in a bubble and they see things this way, they do this, they do that, and that's pretty much it. Just in talking with you and have always having great respect for you, have always admired you, have always enjoyed everything that you've done, because I know that you've always put 110% into it, whether it's on camera or just in the activist work and writing. when you look at it all, and the body of it and the scope of it and the variety of it and the depth of it all, it must really run pretty deep for you. What are some of those blessings and joys that keep you motivated, keep you inspired, keep you hopeful, keep you connected to want to still inspire people in the way that you have for such a long time and in such a really deep, meaningful way?
I think my engine is just that kind of engine. It's almost like I don't have any real control over it. In fact, I have to sometimes, I have to watch taking on too much because I get tired and then I don't do a good job, blah, blah, blah. So and now especially with mom care, which takes a lot of energy and a lot of thought because, I'm like reading up on dementia because I want to make sure when I take her to the doctor, I can have an intelligent conversation with him about her care. And I have to teach the care workers who come here what I learn because some of them don't have enough training either. So I think my engine is just that way. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why. I just want to be active. I want to be involved. I want to create things. I want to make situations. Anyone who comes into this house, I will do my very best to make them comfortable and happy. I'll feed them, wine them, and dine them. We'll go outside, sit on the patio, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, then why aren't we doing the show there? Feed them, wine them, dine them on the patio. Oh my God. How quickly can we get to the West Coast? That's nice. So you like to, when you're able to do it, book a flight. We're going west. You like to host and entertain and make sure everybody's cared for and they have what they need. And you really enjoy that, bringing joy to others.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you have a specialty when you cook? Is there a Denise specialty, something you're known for?
I'm known for drinking a lot of wine. That's about it.
Start with the wine, and then we'll see what we whip up in the kitchen.
Cook.
Yeah.
I'm a decent cook, but I'm not a great cook. I guess during pandemic, I've gotten a little more creative with it. For example, I had some friends over for lunch and I made a shrimp pasta dish that was one of the best things I've ever cooked, but I got it off the internet. I just got good ingredients. It was really, really good. Really good. And I stood at that sink cleaning 3 pounds of
shrimp,
shell-on, fresh, wild shrimp.
Ooh.
I had to get a chair to finish the work. It took so long. It was good. That was one of the best things I've ever cooked.
Then you got carpal tunnel syndrome. Your fingers are like claws now from doing all that.
Yes. Yes.
That is funny.
All of that, exactly. Had to put the heating pads on my hands that night.
Is there anything of all these things that you've done? And again, I say it with great respect and pride for the work that you've done and continue to do. Is there anything that you wished that you had done, a role that you wish that you took, or anything that you still want to do? Doesn't have to be necessarily in entertainment or any of that, just in Denise's life.
I used to want to travel more, see more of the world. I've traveled a bit, but not as much as I kind of thought I would when I started out. But not really. I think I'm pretty comfortable mentally, emotionally where I am. I'm not aching to finish this second book and the memoir. But aside from those two things, I'm pretty at peace with.
You're content.
I
with
am.
Life as it is. Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, you look like $1 million. You always have. But the
Thank
key to
you.
that is you have a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul and a beautiful spirit inside. And that's part of why, the people that aren't, there's a lot of miserable people out there, and they look old prematurely
It's
because
true.
they're not happy
It's true.
inside, and they're not
Right.
connected, and they're not giving. And you've always been a giver and connected. I wanted to show you what some of our loveties, because they've said it. They said it like earlier in the show. They said, "Oh, she's a lovety. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, Lovety Hall." You can get Grammys, Emmys, Tonys, Tellys, Oscars, and Peabodys. But when you're told that you're a lovety on the Jim Masters Show Live, are your feet tingling right now?
Yes. Yes.
That's what
Thank
I
you.
figured. Ah, our pleasure. Rini says, recipes off the internet. It's what we all do unless you're a chef.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Maureen in Arizona says, Denise, you're a beautiful person inside and out. The world is lucky to have you. That's very beautiful. And Maureen is a nurse in Arizona. So she knows firsthand the care of people. Toby in California and Encino says, I'll be over in 15 minutes. You're not far from me. I guess she wants the wine. Sherry Larson in Kansas says, thank you, Denise. Enjoyed listening to your stories tonight. And Sherry is in Kansas. Mary is watching in Florida. And she says, this was such a wonderful conversation. Thanks, Jim and Denise. Denise, this really has been, and we've really scratched the surface of the work that you've done, the contributions you've made in so many different ways. That's why when your name comes up, there's always such great respect. And it's just because of the essence of who you are. And so you're inspired, you're at peace, you're content, you're living your bliss, you're writing. That's a beautiful thing. That is a really beautiful thing to be able to say, Denise. And I wish you nothing but continued peace and love and joy in your life and great blessing. And somebody else that sometimes pops in at the end of the show that wants to give his wishes. And matter of fact, he played God in a movie. George Burns sends you his best.
I saw that movie. Howdy.
There he is with his cigar. And I know it always makes the guest laugh at the end.
That's too cute.
You've got a fantastic laugh. That laugh needs to be on a laugh track. That is terrific.
Love your work.
I was going to say, yeah. If a comedian is ever bombing, they should have you in the front row of the club, because your laugh is infectious, as is your personality. I want to show you just a little bit more. Crystal in Connecticut says, thank you for an inspiring conversation, Denise. I wish you continued success. You're very beautiful. God bless you. From Crystal in Connecticut. Jane, who's up late in Sweden. She's with us overseas. A fun show. Thanks, Denise. Thanks, Jim. Our pleasure, Jane. And hopefully you'll get some sleep. It's late there in Sweden. And Toby says, congrats on a brilliant career. Been watching you since I was knee high to a grasshopper. That's a good expression. And and Rini says, thanks to you both. Keep spreading your joy and wisdom. Absolutely, Rini Katz in New York City. This really was a blessing to cross paths. And I thank you for all of the time. Believe it or not, we chatted for about an hour and 25 minutes. And the guest is always shocked. They're like, my God, it never feels like that.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I just looked up here and saw the time clock.
It's just a conversation. Wow. And and we really, just go in different directions, and it's about, sharing humanity.
You're terrific.
I appreciate that. Congrats on a brilliant career. Again, that's the knee high. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I always say, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, Denise, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I definitely have with you.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. I lost you.
What a time to disappear. No, it was. I love this. This is so much fun. You're gonna have. Oh boy, I want to. I want to see. I want to see how big that glass of wine is that you're gonna have after downloading that.
Huge. And wait a minute, Mom's upstairs waiting for hers.
I was saying that.
Give her a teeny bit. I give her a teeny bit.
Yes, give her just a little bit. And I just wanted to say that I truly hope that the show met whatever expectations you had and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I definitely have with you.
I can't hear you. You've broken up.
Did we break up? Can you hear us now? How about now?
Can hear you. Now, yes.
You can hear us now?
But you're freezing. Yes.
How about now? Can you hear us now?
Yes. Yes.
It sounds like you're on a quiz show answering quiz questions.
Yes. So yes.
Yes. She says yes to everything. Give her the car.
You're gone again.
Your Wi-Fi acting up a little bit there. So I was saying, I hope the show met whatever expectations that you had. Can you hear us now? You hear me now?
No, you keep breaking up. Yeah, I keep freezing.
Can you hear us now? Is that better? Better?
Yes.
Is it as cold freezing as in Detroit?
Now you're frozen again.
Now we're frozen.
No, no, I can hear you.
Isn't that strange? Strange stuff, huh? The internet is a crazy place. So I was saying, I hope that the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoy the time with me as much as I have with you, Denise.
I have absolutely enjoyed it. Absolutely. Are you kidding? This was fun. This was fun.
That is perfect. Well, you're welcome back anytime. We will keep the porch light on for you. And just a couple of quick goodbyes here. Toby says, good luck on your new book and wishing your mom well. And Mona in Louisiana. Mona just made it through Hurricane Ida in Louisiana. And she says, thank you both so much for your time. Enjoyed meeting you, Denise. Wish you much success. Beautiful person inside and out. Come back and see us on the Jim Masters Show. Now you are a lovety. That is beautiful.
Lovety.
Beautiful. Lovety on the Jim Masters Show live.
Thank you.
You stay well. Best to you and your mom and the family. And let's stay in touch. I would love to if I'm on the West Coast on a TV project,
please
a TV show or something.
Please. Yes, I'll be stuck right here, chained to the computer. I'll be right here.
You'll be there still downloading that Google Chrome.
Yes. Take good care.
You too as well, Denise. You're a blessing and a pleasure to chat with. And you have a wonderful rest of your evening, okay? A nice smile. You're frozen with a nice smile. Well, you take care, okay, Denise? I think we've said our goodbyes. Isn't that a beautiful shot of her? All right. Thanks, Denise. You take care, okay? Can you hear us? You still there?
Okay, so I'm going.
Gonna say sayonara. Oh, there you are. You disappeared. Well, thanks, Denise. That was a fade to black. That was fun. She was amazing, wasn't she? Let's see. Let's take a look at some real fun from Toby in California. And Mona says, good luck on the new book and your mom as well. A hard job, but very rewarding. I believe that. Yes. And Mona says my home had so much damage and all the surrounding areas. She's in Louisiana, Mona, with Hurricane Ida that came through. So sad. I've been through quite a few myself. Well, hopefully things are better for you where you are there. We send you love. And it was wonderful having Denise on the show, wasn't it? I just want to show you guys, if you joined us late and her Wi-Fi was acting up, she said I was freezing too, so maybe my picture was freezing. The internet is just a crazy, crazy place. Crazy, crazy. But what a cool person, huh? She's an American treasure. She really, really is. There's a wonderful shot of her there. A nice close-up shot. Here's another shot as well. And of course, remember, on room 222. And did you know that she had such a terrific, I knew she had a great sense of humor, and she just rolls with it, which I love. And she really does have a great sense of humor, and you got a taste of it tonight. That's a great shot. We showed that earlier. Look at that one too. Little photo cavalcade here. Some more shots of the wonderful veteran Hollywood actress, author, activist, the one and only Denise Nicholas. Isn't that a beautiful shot too? It was funny when we were pulling up some of the pictures from some of the shows. She's got a fantastic laugh, doesn't she? Here's some more great shots. They're all terrific. And then, of course, room 222. Another classic. And yes, Michael Constantine did just pass away recently. You see him there on the right. Karen Valentine as well. And just here's another shot. There she is with Aretha Franklin in room 222. Really cool. And again, I was mentioning to you guys the amount of television that she's been on over the years. You'll always see her in something. There's room 222, the cast again. There she is. And of course, wonderful stories on the set of In the Heat of the Night on NBC, that classic television series, Carol O'Connor. And the fact that Carol gave her the opportunity to write several episodes of In the Heat of the Night. What a fantastic opportunity. And they were great friends. Carol O'Connor, of course, greatly missed, a brilliant actor. Nothing like Archie Bunker. So that's a brilliant actor. Carol O'Connor was nothing like the character Archie Bunker on All in the Family, though was such a skilled actor, can play Archie Bunker, can be in Heat of the Night, and a lot of classic roles too. He's a classically trained actor, originally from New York, Carol O'Connor. There's Carol O'Connor, Denise Nicholas. It's another great shot too. We were laughing about this one, Blackula. And she was laughing when we pulled up, "Baby, I'm back." There's a young Kim Fields there on the bottom left. And there's the book we were talking about. Again, she's working on another one too. This is available on Amazon, Freshwater Road, a novel by Denise Nicholas. This is the 10th anniversary edition as well. And there is front and back cover. She really a blessing, and so wonderful to grace our presence here on the Jim Masters Show Live as a special guest. Really a fun, crazy, quirky evening because her computer didn't have Google Chrome. So you need Google Chrome downloaded. So we started the show a little bit late because I was on the phone with her, and I was sort of like the crisis hotline, helping her sort of get the Google Chrome downloaded and then get it married with the streaming system. So that way there we can have her on. And we were laughing so much on the phone behind the scenes. It was hilarious. We had so much fun. And I hope you guys did too today on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. This hair is getting really long. Look at this hair. It's like time. I think I'm going for a haircut this week. We are going for a haircut this week. The hair now wants to do whatever it wants to do. It's been so long. I've never touched my hair this much in my life as I have in the last, since this pandemic started. I've never touched my hair this much. Uh, good night, all from Mary. Yes, that's right. Tony, welcome to the show. And I've worked for a long time with public television, still do work with them. And so I love the Bert from Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street, your Bert profile on your YouTube channel. And Mona, good night, Jim and Denise and Lovedies. So much fun. Perfect. That's what we want to hear. Hugs to all. If you're joining us for the first time and you're like, well, what is this? What is this show I'm watching? This isn't just like an interview show where we just interview the guests and then we upload it and all that. We're live on the air right now. We have viewer interaction. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show, which is kind of cool. So that's why we don't just cut right out. We don't just come right in and go straight to the conversation and then cut right out. See you later next. I like to have conversations with the viewers. So think of the old school talk shows like Dick Cavett and Johnny Carson and some of the greats. That's what we do here with entertainment, inspiration, talk. We learn something. We're all here together. All the Lovedies are here. And if this is your first time watching, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, whether you're watching live and commenting or you're watching this later in the archives. We appreciate you as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching right now. That helps us big time. That is Jim Masters TV. We would love it. And share the channel. Let everybody know. We've got about 400, as of today, as of this episode, 480 episodes with extraordinary guests from everywhere: Broadway, Hollywood, television, music, film, stage, food, comedy, sports, and inspiration, and authors, and mediums, and relationship experts, and everybody. It's all about life. So subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this episode and any of the episodes of JMS Live, Jim Master Show Live, give this episode a like, a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. You see that little thumbs up icon? We'd love it if you do that. And we would love it if you do that. And leave a comment for us as well, too. When you do that, when you click thumbs up on the YouTube channel and then you leave a comment, it actually helps our show because YouTube sees that and they blast this episode out even further. So if you've done that already, thank you so very much. We really appreciate that. Couple more comments coming in. Fun show. Thank you very much. Jen, you got a chance to hear from a national treasure, Denise Nicholas. She was a lot of fun. She was authentic. She's real, as she always has been. That hairstyle suits you, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. On the next show, it'll probably look different. Every day it looks like something different. It has a mind of its own. Good night, everyone. And I had to go to and see the show over my power. Your power just came back on, so you lost your power. Well, we're glad that you are back with us and everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday, folks. We're back on Wednesday. We have an incredible singer and songwriter, Laura Purcell, who is extraordinary. She's going to be live from Hollywood and Los Angeles, the incomparable Laura Purcell. So we're back on Wednesday. Okay, so you guys enjoy your Tuesday. We're back with our next show on Wednesday, and we hope to see you then. Now, again, that's speaking to our audience who is watching live. If you're watching this in the archives, none of that matters. Just for the folks who are watching live right now. Maureen says, Jim, how do you do it? Night after night, you bring your A game. I just love spending time in Lovely Hall with you and my lovely family. You the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We work hard behind the scenes here at the Jim Master Show Live to try to put on, even with technology being crazy sometimes out of our hands, we try to put on as good a show as we can for all of you. Toby says, real fun. Thank you very much, Toby. Glad you enjoyed it as well. We had a great time with all of you and with Denise. Yes, we'll see everybody on Wednesday. We'll be here on Wednesday. You guys enjoy your day tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your evening. If you want to know some of the other incredible guests we have coming up, just scroll through our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now, a channel dedicated to entertaining, informing, educating, and inspiring. And again, give it some subscribing. We would love that. And again, as always, don't forget to smile, gang. Don't forget to share the levity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine is with loving family and friends. And of course, my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years. My Zen place as well over the years. I love what I do. And Denise loves what she does. She's really living her bliss. I mean, film, stage, television for years, writing, an activist, really somebody who cares about humanity and about people. And of course, the ocean. She's on the West Coast. We're on the East Coast. And loving the ocean and being near it. It's a Zen place for me as well. So you find your Zen place and share that Zen place with the world. We thank the one and only Denise Nicholas for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And we thank all of you. Continue to spread the word about this special place, this entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We always have a good time. We always have laughs. We always learn something, and we're always here together. It's a cool place, JMS Live, isn't it? We love having all of you here. We'll catch you on the next episode. Again, spread the word about our show, and you take care and you be well, okay? Thanks for the time and spending it with us right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Have a good night, gang. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.